I believe we should be good to go. Welcome, folks, for those who may be tuning in tonight for another edition of the ARC Formula One season here. Round 17 of 25, we find ourselves at the Temple of Speed, none other than the Great Monza.
Yep, 17 cars on the grid this week. Fortunately, one of the main protagonists in this title fight, Liam, unavailable tonight, so the podium is wide open, barring, any mistakes from the Williams, but as of late, they seem to be few and far between.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a key spot for Liam to be giving up tonight, of course. Performing pretty strong all through the season thus far. Tonight's points are probably pretty important for him to maintain his title fight if that's what he is doing, but at this point, I mean, it must be said. Title sort of being ran. Sorry, English is a bit hard tonight. Title being ran away with by Mr. Mikey DeYoung of the Williams, of course, up to 231 points atop the Drivers' Championship, with teammate Abdul Al-Hazmi not too close behind, about 50 points back, 184 for him, P2. Then we've got Boryoshi, of course, bringing up P3 in the Drivers' Championship with 166. So, bit of a spread through the top 3 or 4 drivers in the championship, but, of course, every race counts. Lots of points to be made tonight. Find ourselves at the fastest circuit of the season.
Oh yeah, they don't call it the Temple of Speed for nothing here, Alex. Speeds, very little braking zones, but when you do get to them, they will be heavy. You see Travis make his way through the De La Roja chicane. I'm trying to figure out who is on a lap, I believe. Could have been an Alpine, but invalidated.
Looks like the Alpine of Gabe Cazzola was the first out of the pits and the first to start his hot lap. Purple sector 1 for him, so it does look like he's on one.
He's gone
quite wide.
Either way, he'll be the one to set the benchmark for the rest of the fannies in the grass. Bit of a nervy start here for Gabe.
Really twitchy there through Parabolica as well. I mean, could it be tires? Could it just be finding his mojo? Things may not have been going the way he was expecting through practice, but it will be a 121 for him as he's quickly beaten out by the 119s of both Jonathan Jurgensmeyer for P2 and AJ Knickel for provisional pole at the moment. And we see the Haas making his way through the bollards there. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer a bit too fast into that one. Next time across will be that of Julius Duku of the Mercedes, laying down the 119.9. Good for P3 for the moment.
Of course, coming off an absolutely chaotic Dutch Grand Prix, hopefully this one will be a bit less hectic and a bit more entertaining for you guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, last week was very entertaining. Fabian goes across the line with the 121.2. Sets the fastest third sector.
First laps starting to come across for all drivers. Oh, and a big off there. I can't tell who that was in front of the Ferrari of Travis. Somebody going way into the grass there.
Oh, and Al-Hasmi goes up into P2. Surprisingly, AJ, he's 11 one-thousandths of a second.
Purple sector 3 for Al-Hasmi. But yes, 1/100th of a second is the separation there between P1 and P2 for the moment. Want to give a shout out? Sorry, Bill. Shout out at the just real quick before we get too deep into it and I start missing messages in chat. I want to say hello and what's up to some familiar faces in chat. Probably some ARC racers themselves hanging around here tonight. Carbine Khan already dropping a message. Hello, hello. Other ARC racers, hello, good evening. We hope to provide you with a good race tonight. Should be. As mentioned, of course, the fastest track on the F1 calendar. Of course, that goes for both IRL and ARC.
Yeah,
So we
not in
should
terms of
be
lap time, but in terms of average speed,
pure pace.
yes.
Yes. The lowest downforce packages for the cars of any Grand Prix of the season are ran here at Monza. And it is about it changes year to year, obviously, as the designs of the cars change very slightly, but the average full throttle time spent on a lap in Monza is 77 to 82% of the full lap. Pretty crazy.
Trying to see here who's
Drivers cycling in and cycling out. A few of them, about half the field, already putting down their first laps. Second half of the field still waiting. Hello, hello. Good evening, Motorsports United. Thanks for joining us tonight. Another familiar face.
doing it for Dale, I see. Yeah, most of these drivers are making their way in.
Except for
Barring,
Stotts, it looks
I
like.
believe Boryoshi too.
Stotts, I believe, may be on a hot lap at the moment. We'll see as he comes across the line for provisional pole. Matthew Stotts with the 119.3. About a tenth and a half over teammate AJ Knickel there for provisional pole. Cracking lap there for Mr. Stotts.
Boryoshi, 221 miles an hour into turn one.
And call out a driver you see that may be starting the lap soon, Bill, so we can do a quick
I believe
follow
it's
along.
Boryoshi who just went purple in sector one.
Yeah, anybody coming across the line? Is that Haas set for a lap? Can't tell.
I believe
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, I think he might be on a lap if you'd want to take us through it. With Jurg.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer.
Already through the first chicane, but...
Yep. Come now here through Curva Grande, trying to carry as much speed, stay tight. Used to be able to keep it wide, but as we go up to De La Rosa chicane, quick in, quick out, easy on throttle. Don't want to go wide there. It'll suck you around as we get set for Lesmo 1. Don't get too eager on the power. She will wrap it around quick. Lesmo 2. Power as soon as you can right here to the straight as we get set up for Ascari. Long straight here. Good overtaking opportunities during the race. You get set 218 into Ascari. Don't want to go too deep there. Again. And just again, another straight as we head towards the parabolic corner here. Just one corner to go. Nothing that's leaping off the board is in terms of sector times, but already sitting P5 at the moment, and it's a wasted lap.
It is, yeah. I was not satisfied with his pace through the last sector, I'd assume. Ducks it in immediately. Enough time left for 2, maybe 3 cycles of hot laps for the drivers. And quietly, while we were following along with Jurg, it's Mikey de Jong who slingshots himself right up into provisional pole. First driver into the 18s. Yes, sir.
I mean, Mikey de Jong, class of the field all season. He's been every race he's been here. He's been in contention. Again, like we saw them start slow, and by slow, Alex, I mean spinning wins, not Matthew Stotts. And AlphaTauri crossing us, Fabian, I believe, starting his lap.
Let's see what Fabian can do. Racing today in that AlphaTauri. Currently finds himself in P9. Space being made there by AJ Knickel, it looks like. Space also being made for the trailing Alpine as Matthew Daly puts himself up into provisional P3 with the 119.5, less than 100th of a second faster than AJ Knickel.
Yeah, what a turnaround it's been for Matthew Daly. Started slow, obviously we know the controversy, the drama,
Ooh.
late season switch. Whoa, what do we got? Looks like we got a
Fabian
Log
put
jam or the
two in.
baggage claim.
Fabian put two wheels into the gravel there. May have compromised him, but still seems to be pushing. Through Ascari he goes now. Keeping it nice and clean through this third sector. However, a bit of a moment there may have compromised some lap time.
Yeah, he's not even deploying his ERS. He's pretty much abandoned the lap here. Look for him to duck off. Yep, there it
Yep,
is.
looks like it. He
Get it
knew the
slowed down in
moment
time.
he... Yep. Only a bit
Well, these
more
guys are
movement.
going to want to get this slipstream here. Perhaps we want to see more teammates working together.
Looking down the pecking order now, we see that Al-Hazmi has fallen in the time since his teammate Mikey DeYoung has taken pole down to P5 at the moment.
Oh, was
What do
that?
we
That was
got?
Al-Hazmi spinning right in front of AJ.
Oh no.
AJ on a hot lap. Al-Hazmi spinning, but luckily spun completely out of the way.
Al-Hazmi finding
Oh,
himself
AJ's in
in
the grass.
P5 and AJ
He's gonna
having
abandon the lap.
himself a moment. Yep, making space now. Tucking in behind that McLaren, also making space. Clay Smith up into P7 for the moment. With Julius Duke who's running a great qualifying session here. P6 for the
Travis is
moment.
7/10 up on his lap right now for the Ferrari. Please don't go wide. Oh, he's ruined the lap. Oh, I should have just ignored him.
Immediately into the pits he ducks, having fell victim to the commentator's curse.
Yep. As soon as I clicked on him, 7/10 up. Was looking for a good lap there. Immediately goes wide and parabolica.
So 3 drivers yet to lay down a lap time here, with the clock certainly ticking. One of them seems to be serving probably a qualifying penalty or something of the sort.
Boryoshi's on his way around right now.
Looks like it. This will be his first representative time of the sector, or of the session, I'm sorry. Through the third sector he goes and across the line for P2. Not quite into the 18s with Mikey DeYoung, but nearly 1/10 clear of Matthew Stotts. That's a time I'm sure he's happy with. The first time he puts on the board, and it's good for P2, so he has time to get back around for one more lap.
A 1/2 up in Sector 1 for Stotts. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. Coming through Della Roggia into the Lesmo corner. It's gotta keep it tidy. A little bit wide. I don't think it'll hurt him. Nailed the apex. Out of Lesmo too. What are we looking at here for sector time? Oh, he's only 9/1000th up. He's going to have to gain a lot here in Sector 3 to make it any sort of representation.
Yeah, it will be a Herculean effort for him to be able to advance from his current position on the pace he's running this lap. But he's certainly trying, that's for sure.
It just takes a better line through Parabolica. This corner can be so hard. You can carry so much speed. Let's see what it's going to be here. It's going to be good enough. He improves by 1/10.5, so that does move him up into P2. And look at the gaggle of cars exiting the pit.
Yeah. Everybody coming out.
To go.
I mean, you could probably get one comfortable lap through here and then one real Hail Mary, burn it all the way around lap if you can manage it if you're coming out right now. But as it stands, these drivers likely only having one more lap left in...
I don't think Matthew Stotts is going to get back around. Boryoshi's going to go again. I don't know if he even pit.
Sitting on about 80% ERS charge. I mean, he seems like he has plenty of juice to run another lap. Immediately invalidates through the first chicane. Unfortunate. Still sitting on that P3 time, though. And as mentioned, only one driver thus far into the 118s. That is, of course, Mikey DeYoung, who's been on provisional pole now for the last 8 minutes or so. Nobody yet able to best that time.
Jake Scarborough, the first retirement. And finally, Jamie Knock is Oh, Matthew Stotts has been disqualified.
Oh, it looks like it. Looks like
Matthew
he had a bit of an
Stotts.
incident, parking in a
I think.
dangerous location, not able to get it going
Oh,
fast enough.
he will not. He will not qualify second. Second goes to. Oh
Oh
Lord.
no. Oh, and that's
We
just
are.
disaster there for
We are
the
gonna
Aston
pull up the
Martin of Matthew
Discord for an
Stotts.
explanation. We need to know what's happened. Um, waiting on word here. Let me try and get Stotts' attention and ask what happened. All right. While I wait, while he's typing, his teammate's on track, trying to set a lap. He's got a Ferrari directly in front of him. Don't know whether this is gonna hurt or help. Sorry for the hiccups.
Enough time here for one more lap, it looks like. For all drivers back to maybe, who's that? Blurry Julio? He may be cutting it close, but he should have time to make it around for one more if he wishes to. Early retirement there from both Boryoshi
And
and
look at this.
Fabian.
Oh, and
Boryoshi
Matt Daly.
retiring from
Matt
P2.
Daly doesn't move out of AJ's way. AJ invalidates. You gotta think there may be a little bad blood after being dropped like a hot rock. Matthew Daly says, "Screw you. I'm gonna keep on my lap. You keep on with yours." Oh, and Matt Daly seems to have backed out of it as well because he's not deploying any energy. Okay, so we might have a bit of a conundrum. AJ's gonna just sit behind him and go for another. This is a very confusing scenario. I was out of gas, but I didn't want to retire on track because of how goofy this game is, so I was trying to drive back around, but cars were coming as well. That's the reason for the disqualification of Matthew Stotts.
Unfortunate for him as Clay Smith finds his way up into P2 after the early retirement from the Red Bull of Boryoshi. Was hoping to sit on that time of the 119.2 but gets beat out by about a tenth and a half nearly. And Mikey de Jong improving ever more on his pole position time with the 118.8 now. Drivers starting to cross the line on their final laps. Luke Allen not able to improve, will stay P15. Oh, and retirement's coming up and down as people are probably bailing out of this final Hail Mary lap, knowing that they're not going to improve. Tyler Crabtree, however, from not having a lap time set with about 5 minutes left to go in the whole session, manages to hold on for P8 at the moment, barring any change from the two drivers behind him. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Blurry Julio now to cross the line. Blurry Julio, not much of an advancement, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer up into P5, if only for the moment, as he's beat out by Jamie Knock for P5. And there you have it, folks. The grid looks to be set here at Monza for round 17 of 25 in the 2023 ARC Formula 1 season. Mikey de Jong with provisional pole after laying down two absolutely cracking laps. Closest anybody was able to come was about 2/10, which isn't that huge of a gap, but when you see just the number separation, he alone in the 118s with every other driver in the 119s and some even in the 120s, it just makes it that much more poignant. Great session there from the Williams of Mikey de Jong, who will be starting this Grand Prix from the very front. So looking down the grid, we have AJ Knickel managing to get up into P2 as Clay Smith is bumped to P3 for the start. Great starting position for him either way, though. Joining him on row 2 will be Boryoshi of the Alfa Romeo, and Jamie Knock, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will be lining up on row 3. Matty Daly secures P7 alongside Abdul Al-Hazmi of the Williams. Bit of a disappointing session there for him. I'm sure he was hoping to qualify a bit higher than P8, Tyler Crabtree and Andrew Davis will line up alongside each other on row 5 in P9 and P10 respectively. Julius Duku and Travis will get the best of each other. They're in 11 and 12. And who else we got? Gabe Cazola and Jake Scarborough. P13 and P14 for them, as Luke Allen will start P15 in the other Red Bull. And here we are, folks. I believe to prevent any issues, we will be foregoing the formation lap here tonight. Should be just right into it on the grid. Waiting, of course, for the lobby just kind of to settle itself. Waiting for everybody to join in. And here we go for the race start. 5 lights on. And it is lights out and away we go here from Monza. Mikey DeYoung with a decent getaway. Makes the move to close off AJ Knickel as Jamie Knock is also getting a good run there going into the first chicane. May see some chaos here. Wow. Yup, and Abdullah Hazmi falling way down to the back of the grid already. May be some issues there that we just didn't catch. I mean, there was just so many cars there. Hard to keep up with all of them or get a camera angle that you can view all of them with. Nonetheless, onward we go.
Yeah, they crashed.
It looks like it, yeah. Al-Hazmi picking away on the positions that he lost off that start, but plenty of action still happening as Blurry Julio, Julius Duku falling all the way to the back of the grid, missing an end plate after whatever contact he may have found himself in. Mikey DeYoung already building himself out a nearly 2-second gap to the rest of the grid. Wow. No other gap on the field is larger than about 1 second. Mikey DeYoung already over 2 seconds ahead of P2.
DRS train.
It looks like it. I mean, if nothing else, that's what we'll see for most of the races. Jamie Knock gets the better of AJ Knickel here, going around the outside. AJ looking to make the move back up the inside through Parabolica. Not quite enough, but they are still side by side. Jamie Knock technically in the lead at the moment, but AJ will have the inside line coming into the first chicane. Relinquishes a bit. Jamie Knock pulling out to some degree. Oh, almost some contact there. Jamie a little loose, bit of a twitch on corner exit. Oh, and it looks like Travis is having himself quite some issues as well, as he instantly drops 3 places to Clay Smith, Jurg, and Tyler Crabtree.
Poor Yoshi. 4th to 12th.
He may have been caught up in that early trouble.
Caught the end of it, his car was just ghosted through the chicane, so I don't know. I have no idea what happened.
He'll be looking to race his way back up from P12 at the moment, where he finds himself tucked in pretty comfortably between Matty Daly and Gabe Cazola. However, it's Mikey DeYoung. This is the Mikey DeYoung show thus far. 2.5 seconds over that, the gap between him and Jamie Knock in P2. Oh, and battle here, Travis having more trouble, it looks like. Luke Allen and Matty Daly both getting the better of him there through Parabolica. Take a look down the grid now with the tire choices.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm glad I'm getting invites to the game. Yeah, Stotts, we saw him start in the back. He's opted for the hard, so he's probably going to try and make up the positions he lost. Disqualified via the pit. Oh my god! Who was that? Was that Luke Allen?
It looks to be Luke Allen, yeah.
Sorry, it looked like he was about to spin right back. I was talking about Stotts, and it looked like he was about to spin right onto Stotts' wing.
Oh man. A rough start, a rough go of it for some of the drivers here as Fabian finds himself getting really loose. Fidel Fabian making
Oh,
contact, plenty of
wow,
contact
yeah.
there with both Matt Stotts and Andrew Davis. Matt Stotts getting the wheel touch from Fabian. Andrew Davis just running straight up into the back of him, not expecting Fabian to lose so much speed off of that, and Fabian just finding himself in a position that he's probably not meant to be in at the moment. Wants a little bit of space here, some room to run, not able to
Yeah,
find it.
these guys at the back of the grid got to be feisty for some points. So, and especially with the, it's really hard to pass here unless you get DRS. But the person in front of you generally also has DRS. So,
Oh, big incident there from the Haas of Jake Scarborough. He is facing the wrong direction on track. He gets himself back around and falls down to P15 for his trouble. Almost making contact with Luke Allen there on the rejoin also. Dangerous.
looked like a bit of an unsafe rejoin. Meanwhile,
Oh, the
Mike De Jong is going.
Ferraris. The Ferraris getting into each other there. Travis and Matty Daly. Oh, and Travis has really hung himself out to dry. Gave up the pace there on corner exit to that of Boryoshi, Gabe Cazola, and Matthew Stotts down to P12 for the Ferrari. Already sitting on a penalty, it seems, as well.
Oh, Blurry Julio is around again in Parabolica. So,
First race back in a while, I must say. I haven't seen that name on the grid for quite some time. Maybe trying to get his feet back under him or whatnot. Running the Logan Sargent Monza maneuver. Or Monaco, I'm sorry.
he he's gonna need a safety car to get back into this race, but there's still a chance for that because these guys are feisty in the mid pack.
Yeah, some good racing thus far. Some hard racing, of course. I mean, an incident just on the first corner alone, but what else is to be expected going into such a hard chicane here at Monza off the race start? Bit of a twitch there from Matthew Stotts, currently fighting for that P10 position with Gabe
Here
Cazola.
comes Clay.
Yeah, Clay Smith making the move on AJ Knickel. AJ letting him breeze by, knowing that he can just tuck in behind him and wait for a move back. Clay Smith up into P2 he finds himself.
Oh. And out goes Blurry.
Blurry Julio with the early exit may have had some mechanical damage after that first incident. Travis also ducking in to serve his penalty and switch tire compounds. It looks like he's going long on the hard compound now from the back of the grid, of those remaining at least. And I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, folks.
Oh no! Oh
Clay
no!
Smith crashes out. We were not able to catch it. Oh no. Watching him
he
now
got
just
loose coming out of Lesmo too.
Oh,
just,
yeah. And that will require
hard
a safety
contact.
car. That suspension is absolutely shot. Those wheels are hanging on by the tethers, and
yeah.
nothing else. That
By
will
F1
require a
red.
safety car for cleanup, unfortunately. Clay Smith, wow. I mean, I was excited to call the race just to see what he would do, because as a name that you don't really expect to see as high up as he's been racing all weekend, it's been a pleasant surprise, qualifying really well. I mean, he has shown strong pace thus far in the season, but this weekend specifically, he was really strong all through qualifying. Crashed out from P2, so had a chance to race really well there. Safety car, obviously, the cue for a lot of these drivers to come into pit now. Changing compounds off the mediums to the hards, it seems that a lot of them are going. Let's take a look at the tire details.
Matthew Stotts
Yeah,
from the back of the grid up into the podium positions.
On those hard compound tires that he gambled on, and that may be a good call now, seeing that the rest of the grid is also opting for those hards.
Do you think they can go 20 laps on those hards that they just put on? It's going to be a bit of a stretch.
I'd say no, but I mean, if you're playing the odds here with a safety car having occurred on lap 6, then there's a decent chance that you will see another one within the next 12 or 15 laps again.
Actually,
that's just playing chance and probability, though. That has nothing at all to do with what is and is not to be expected. That is just what might or might not happen.
One would think, seeing Mikey De Jong switch to the hards, they could probably go to the end. Again, though, barring a late safety car, everybody probably has a set of softs or something lying around. But this is going to help out Travis a lot as we see Travis come back into the pits for mediums?
It looks like it, yeah. Mediums. The only one to go onto the medium compound tires after the safety car pit run. Of course, the
Well,
two other medium compound runners being on the tires that they started the Grand Prix on are two leaders.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer again, one of the biggest movers up into P2. Jamie Knock. But right behind these guys, Mikey DeYoung. So, I mean, he had built out a 5.2 second lead before the safety car. So,
Not only Mikey DeYoung, but teammate Al Hazmi is, chipping away after the early incident that found him plummeting down to the back of the grid. He's gained a position back from where he started already here on lap 7.
yeah, Boryoshi as well moved up. Matt Daly moved back a bit there, but still in the points.
So it
All
looks
right, catch your
like,
breath.
yeah, one of the few moments that you will have to catch your breath here at Monza. The Temple of Speed, as we've said, this is the fastest track in terms of pace and pure, I mean, not time. Yes, there are faster racing lap times on the calendar. However, there are no tracks on the calendar that are faster in terms of pace and just overall going for it than you'll see here at Monza.
Just
Jonathan
confused because it
Jurgensmeyer,
says
though,
Travis isn't gaining any time on the back of the grid, but he's absolutely flat out right now.
does seem to be, yeah. It's actually showing that he's losing a bit of time, now gaining some time, it seems.
Yeah, you're gonna see it all of a sudden just go all the way up.
So, going into Sector 3 now, not clear whether we will be behind the safety car for another lap. I assume so as we wait for Travis to catch the back of the pack.
Yeah, I believe we would have already gotten the notification, so we'd probably be behind one more lap. Oh, Clay Smith says in chat he apologized for Boryoshi for spinning him and says that karma got him back, so you hate to see it for Clay. Oh, what's this? Matthew Stotts has decided, no, I'm gonna pit. Alright, not sure.
Second guessing himself to some degree, it seems. On those fresh hard compound tires. Oh no, they are not fresh. It should be mentioned. He originally went in for those hard compound tires.
He started on.
After the first incident. I don't believe so. I think he ducked in for them after he was caught
Nope.
up in...
Matthew Stott started at the back of the grid on hards, trying to go longer than everybody to gain those positions back, and then with the safety car, he just jumped up because everybody pit. But it's just a weird strategy to go in now. And you want to talk about no man's land? Jamie Knock and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer.
Well, I mean, I think the strategy call here, the reasoning for it at least from that Aston Martin of Matthew Stotts is kind of playing the odds, you know? Knowing that every driver ahead of you it will be on this hard compound tire, he is switching to the medium probably to chunk away and gain a few positions, knowing that there may be another incident yet to come further down the road. One that will give him the perfect opportunity to duck in for a different compound if need be. However, if he gets caught out and hung out to dry on those medium compound tires, he will be really regretting this choice he just made about 30 seconds ago. Safety car, of course, will be in this lap as he catches the back of the pack now. Two drivers already that will not be finishing this race, unfortunately, and I gotta say, I mean, barring any major incident or whatnot, this is the Mikey DeYoung show from what we've seen thus far. Finds himself P3
this
for
race
the start.
or this season?
The answer is yes. So it'll be on the go of Jamie Knock here. They'll be maneuvering their way rather slowly through Parabolica.
Very close right there.
Very close, yeah. Trying to get
He's gone.
some life into those tires, and he's gone early, yeah. Before even the start of the turn in for Parabolica goes Jamie Knock. And Mikey DeYoung reading it very well.
Yeah.
Already way up into the back of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. And he'll have him here going into the first chicane, it looks like,
Wow, that
alongside
was
Jonathan
quick.
Jurgensmeyer, quickly relinquishing the spot. Oh, but
Ooh.
no, braking way later and managing to maintain, however, chunking maybe a little bit out of those
Ooh.
tires and twitching on the exit just for good measure. Mikey DeYoung looking up the inside, or outside now, I'm sorry. Jonathan
Tyler's had an
Jurgensmeyer
incident.
just not with the pace, yeah. Tyler Crabtree having an incident. We'll take a peek there. He's dropping down the order. Seems to have it going, though. So, nothing major. Oh, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer losing out to AJ Knickel there as well. Wow. Off the restart, he's already dropped 2 positions in just a matter of a few corners.
Oh, Jake Scarborough's had an incident, I believe. Yep.
It looks like it, yeah. Bit of a gap there to the rest of the pack. He'll be fighting his way back. Jurg losing out again to Al-Hazmi now. Oh my goodness, just dropping like a balloon. A lead balloon,
Mikey
that is.
DeYoung is all over the
Or
back
a
of
water
Jamie
balloon,
Knock
maybe.
here. Oh, she burst.
Mikey DeYoung already picking his way through the pack. Nose to tail there, he goes through Parabolica with Jamie Knock. And he will have a great run here, straight up the inside. Oh, and fastest laps coming across. It'll be a purple lap for AJ Knickel for the moment.
Yeah, he's just been able to take the slipstream off of these guys.
Looks like it. It was Mikey DeYoung for a split second before AJ crossed the line. But Mikey back up into the lead of this race on those hard compound tires. Jamie Knock notably on his medium compound tires that he started the race with. Or no, he did not start the race with them. I'm sorry. But
Crucially, though, AJ Knickel out of ERS now. He's gotten to this point, but he's wasted everything. And it's not like you can gain a lot of it back here. Again, this is kinetic energy we're talking about. While there are heavy braking zones, they are few and far between, so good luck to you, AJ.
Bit of a twitch there from Jamie Knock as he tries to fight back on AJ Knickel for that P2 position. Mikey DeYoung already running them out over a second and a half in terms of a gap. More fights and battles happening further down the grid as we see
Al-Hazmi
Travis.
looking down the inside.
Does he make it happen? It looks like he does. Jamie Knock relinquishing the position, it seems. Knowing that it wasn't a fight worth taking, but quickly with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in tow now.
Oh, here comes Al-Hazmi. I told you that ERS depletion's gonna... Oh!
Yeah. Makes the move around AJ, does manage to get by without any contact. Looked a bit sketchy there.
And
Cleanly,
just like that, it's a Williams one too, Alex.
It appears so.
The cream rises to the top.
Boryoshi quickly making his way up to Jonathan Jurgensmeyer now as well. So he'll be fighting Jamie Knox soon enough if he can manage to get this position from Jonathan Jurgensmeyer.
He'll be fighting for he'll be fighting with AJ too. AJ's, like I said, he's depleted everything. He's got nothing left in the stores. And look too at these as these medium tires start to wear. It doesn't seem like it, but Ascari coming through and just the shifting of one side to the other. Yeah, Jurgensmeyer just lets Yoshi go by.
Yep.
Oh wait, yeah, DRS. Never mind. Ascari will be a bit trickier to navigate because of the shifting of directions. It just catches you out. Not from personal experience or anything.
So here we are. Must be said though, AJ Knickel doing well to keep up with Al-Hazmi currently. In plenty of range to be able to make a move on him with the DRS here. Will he do it though? And he does pretty easily. Up the inside he goes and into P2 with Al-Hazmi probably looking to fight back later in the lap. Can only assume.
Yoshi will be looking at that battle and just keep saying, keep fighting, just wear each other down.
Things happening everywhere it seems with Gabe Cazola making his way around Tyler Crabtree for P7. But Matty Daly's right there also. Tyler Crabtree now getting the better of Gabe. This is a close fight.
Gabe fights around the outside.
Oh, and there's some contact.
With the side pods. Gabe got away clean. He's still keeping it going straight. It's just a bit of a brown in the pants moment,
Oh
but
yeah, and getting the short end of the stick of that situation by
oh,
all
whoa, whoa,
means.
whoa.
Matty Daly also making up a position up into P8
Matthew
he goes.
Stotts. How about a B10 already?
Oh yeah, racing his way back comfortably. He's catching the back of this little fight that these three have had going now, and he'll be licking his lips, smelling blood in the water, looking to pick something up here. Approaching quickly the tail end of Gabe Cazzola, who himself is coming up on Matty Daly soon enough.
Oh, and there goes Al Hasmi around AJ even before they get to the DRS zone.
And with the DRS just to boot Al Hazmi, plenty of extra pace now into the first chicane, and
For Yoshi up into P4. Oh, what a dive bomb by Matthew Stotts on Gabe. Don't know if Gabe would have appreciated that much.
yeah, big move it looks like. Matthew Stotts making his way up into P9.
It looked like it was going to be a situation, Alex. At first, I didn't think he was going to break.
Oh, and it's Matthew Stotts around Tyler Crabtree here also up into P8. And chasing now Matty Daly, who's quickly gaining time on.
Yeah, he's staring at the back of his former car.
Now this is an interesting battle right here because they are driving the cars that each other started the season in.
Oh, there's big trouble at the back. Luke Allen and Jake Scarborough. A VSC is deployed.
It looks like it,
Lots of
yeah.
debris.
Jake Scarborough
Yeah.
making his way back under his own power onto the track. Oh, but has another spin there. Missing his front wing must have been a big incident.
Yeah, I found
Luke
out in
Allen
the
also missing
chat
his wing.
earlier that the Ferraris and apparently the Aston Martins, albeit not making sense, apparently are an alliance. Not sure what that's all about, but I guess you can have more than one team.
I suppose it's a good thing that ARC doesn't report to the FIA because
Mm-hmm.
there are rules against collusion and whatnot. However,
Well, they
you
could
know, there's
just,
the whole
I guess,
junior team thing. Maybe
yeah,
maybe they
there's the
see a junior team
AlphaTauri, the
type
Red
situation.
Bull, the Williams,
However, it looks like
Mercedes.
it will be a full safety car for this actually.
Wait, when did that happen?
Not sure when it was called out. However, both drivers involved with the incident that seemed to bring out the VSC are back under their own power after having pit and, you know, done some damage repair,
Oh
replacing the
no,
wings and
poor Luke
whatnot
Allen.
as necessary.
Luke Allen received a drive-through
A
for speeding under.
drive-through, yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Jamie Knock and Tyler Crabtree on the softs, so they'll have a bit of pace here at the end. I don't know. I don't know how long they'll last, considering, you know, softest tire, but it's worth a shot, you know.
And see, this is the
Jake.
gamble that I was talking about, though, with a lot of the drivers trying to play the probability of another safety car being called. I
Oh, and
mean,
everybody's in the pit now.
those who put on those mediums are looking pretty smart now for being able to come in and put on pretty much whatever they want. Of course, another
Look at this.
medium should be the preferred tire, yeah. Once they saw the leaders duck in, it looks like everybody else thought to do the same.
I was just gonna point
Looking
out
now at the
Jonathan
grid,
Jurgensmeyer, the
it
softs.
is Jurg on the Hail Mary softs. Oh my goodness, playing the
We saw
odds
it
yet
last week.
again. He's playing double jeopardy here, hoping for another safety car, I would assume. Because to have to come in on his own with everybody else on the grid running those medium compound tires would be, it would be detrimental to say the least. But we'll have to
Hey, it
see,
could
of
be a brilliant,
course.
it could be a masterstroke, and we could be on for a fan favorite Jurgensmeyer podium. I don't think anybody in ARC would hate to see that. He's been there all season. We always talk about him. Not qualifying well, but racing beautifully.
Yeah, of
Albeit
course. I
last week
mean,
he tried to make those softs do what they could last week, but ultimately it was all for naught. But it was a low risk, high reward situation last week with the amount of people that were running. We had 7 people at the end, so no matter what, it wasn't really going to come back to bite him in the butt. This week, however, there's a little bit more on offer.
yeah, his signature move all season has been like, qualifying not necessarily in the top half per se, maybe 10 to 12th, but after the first lap, he just finds himself with a position up into like 4th or 6th, and it's just go from there. Like, he has that first lap pace that you can really work with, and it's good to see him performing well and doing what he can with it. So, we will be behind the safety car for another lap here, waiting for a few more to catch the back of the pack.
Whew. Who's that? It's Travis in the
A
pit
few
for the
more
softs.
ducking into the pits, yeah. It looks like...
See, we saw, it's been strange. Jamie Knock, Tyler Crouchy both pitted, got off their mediums, put on the softs, ran a lap behind safety car, came back in and put on mediums. Just very confusing.
Burt Mylander driving the absolute pants off that car.
Is it the Mercedes this week, or are we driving the Aston?
We are driving the Mercedes, it
Oh,
looks
we
like,
are.
the AMG.
Crowd strike.
But, I mean, his foot on the gas much more this week than most others, as the same for the
I
drivers,
mean,
of course.
last week he did lead the most laps.
This is true. Second time he's out today, and he's put in a decent time. However, doing his best just to keep everybody close.
He's
He
in
will
this
be
lap,
in
though.
this lap, yep. And it will be on the go of Mikey DeYoung
He's
with
had
AJ
incredible
Knickel.
starts, so...
When it's on his go, it's always an interesting call, I must say.
AJ not letting him go, though. He's right there.
And he's
Oh, he
off, it
still
looks
gets
like.
him.
Gets him by some margin. Also gets Al-Hazmi. Nobody will be close enough to make a move, it looks like, out of these top 5, I'd say.
Turn 1's always treacherous here on these restarts. The race seems good.
Oh, Matthew Stott's making the move now on Matty Daly, it looks like, up into P7.
What an up and down race Matthew Stotts has had thus
Yeah,
far.
and
Oh, we
even
got
up through
trouble.
that, it looks like that.
Jake Scarborough again. Doesn't look like any damage this time, so he is good to go.
No visible damage at least. Back onto the track he goes. And Mikey DeYoung already building himself out a 1-second gap yet again. Just off the starts tonight, he has been absolutely lights out.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is not slouched away from these guys with those soft tires, so yeah, he's pulled out a considerable gap back to P5 Boryoshi. He's just waiting for any opportunity here to jump into the mix.
Al-Hazmi making the move around AJ Knickel for P2, it looks like. And he will cleanly take it.
Ooh, I almost dropped my controller.
And so we're really off and running here at this stage in the race. I mean,
Yeah. Mikey DeYoung just doing class.
this should be the final stint, barring any incidents, of course.
Good thing. Ooh, that was very close. Matthew Stotts.
Oh, and a track limits penalty being assessed to Jamie Knock, it looks like. Currently P9. Matty Daly may be looking to make the move back on Matthew Stotts here, but not quite close enough as they head through Parabolica. DRS re-enabled after the incident.
He's gonna have a run on Stotts here. It's just a. Does he take it? He looks like he's backing off. You can see his throttle input. Seems Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's kind of tailed off from the back of AJ. Oh, he locks the rears.
Looks like it, yeah. Bit of a slide as he heads through the Lesmos now. Lesmos 1, he manages to go pretty well.
Oh, Gabe really backed up the second Lesmo. Backed it up so much so that he landed on the front wing, and he's just going to move out of the way and let Matthew Stotts come on through. Oh, no! What is this? Mikey DeYoung gets a
Oh no.
3-second penalty and then almost lost it exiting Ascari.
That pulls teammate Al-Hazmi right up onto the back of him now. Having held about a second gap up to this point.
A rare mistake for Mikey DeYoung. And here we go.
So, maybe team orders, maybe not. Al-Hazmi making his move. And it's go for him. He'll take his shot at leading this race. But a good team finish is the best you can hope for, and a 1-2 will be plenty good enough. I'm sure one of these two drivers...
Point.
Yeah. AJ Knickel, though, for what it's worth, managing to keep with them pretty well. Still within DRS range, so...
That's kind of pulled Jonathan Jurgensmeyer back into DRS range as well. Mikey DeYoung, I don't know if he noticed that, laid off there, probably to get a run on the front straight, as opposed to, yeah, you can see it's just, oh, what are they, bump drafting?
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, you can
Nose
see
to
Mikey's
tail,
probably
they
going
go
to
through Parabolica.
a huge exit here, and he's going to just be right all over his teammate into one.
Looks like it. Breezes up beside him and past him.
Oh, but here comes AJ. These guys fighting have enabled AJ to just get right back up.
And Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, for what it's worth, still very close as well. This is a great fight we have here.
It went from Mikey DeYoung checking out, everybody just kind of fighting over the scraps, to given that penalty. I mean, there's no clear defined winner thus far. Oh, no.
Matty Daly getting himself assessed a crucial penalty there for track limits, currently P7. Also, the big thing hanging over this fight for the lead at the moment is that penalty that Mikey DeYoung is currently sitting on as well.
Yeah, here comes his teammate again. They're just going to keep doing this over and over and over again. I'm not sure if this is... At some
AJ
point,
looking to
AJ's
have
gonna...
his piece in it as well. But they will hold station for the moment, it
Oh,
seems.
no.
Matty Daly getting assessed another penalty. This one a 5-second penalty. And that's Matthew Stotts up into P6. Chasing Boryoshi now and, you know, looks to be gaining on him quite considerably as well.
I'm just not sure what the Williams is. I think maybe the gloves are off.
Will be interesting one way or the other. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer may be having a moment, not too sure. However, he is out of ERS and almost 2 seconds back of the fight that he was just within half a second of.
Yeah, I just think those softs are just... They weren't going to last, you know?
Yeah.
But I
Already
mean,
starting
hey,
to
he's up
drop
into
off a bit.
P4, so...
But that's the thing, I mean, I mentioned it, he was probably playing the numbers, he was counting on another incident to be happening soon enough, and find ourselves here. He'll probably need to duck it in one more time before the end of the race, and it's either that or just risk a big incident happening that would put him even further down than he would need to be, so... It's a tough call to make, but of course it's one that we may see being made soon enough. Currently with about 4.5 laps to race here. Mikey DeYoung, I mean,
if he just keeps his head down, he's on... Oh, he could be on for... Let me check. Oh, he's just 4/10 out of the... Oh, when he's just locked the rears again going into Del Rogio. Mikey DeYoung just needs to
oh,
stop
bit of a
fighting his team.
twitch there.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
Heart in the throat moment, for sure.
AJ still keeping with them pretty well, though. Holding on to that final podium position pretty solidly at this point. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer just, dropping ever further. Gap now about 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's opened the door for Stotts, who's on a heater.
With Boryoshi now close in tow as well, this fight for P4 might heat up as Al-Hazmi makes the move on Mikey DeYoung pretty early. AJ looking to make the move as well now on Mikey. They are wheel to wheel as we head into the first turn. And it will be AJ, Mikey DeYoung relinquishing at least some margin. Probably looking to bank some energy this lap. AJ running really low himself, so he'll be hoping to hold on to this position more than anything, because for him to have to bank from here with Al-Hazmi now in the lead, sitting on a bit of energy himself. That ERS really strong here at Monza, of course, with so much of the lap at full throttle. So it'll come into play as we tick off more laps from this Grand Prix.
Oh, and they're just ticking away. Not many left. And crucially, Matthew Stotts is almost within that 3-second window of Mikey DeYoung. Matthew Stotts could go from last to podium here. From last to podium to last to podium.
Even if he were to
twice.
just have to hold down his current P4 position, I can't imagine anything less than driver of the day for that guy. What a great race for him thus far. Great strategy calls through the first two incidents.
Oh, and Mikey DeYoung has boxed AJ in. What a move. Oh, he's got into the back of Al-Hazmi.
Oh, it looks like it. Some slight contact there, yeah. AJ still sticking close by, though. This fight is only going to heat up from here with about 2.5 laps remaining.
I don't think you want to be the leader coming to the white flag, that's for sure. AJ goes wide.
It looks like it. Ducked his front left into the gravel. But still sticking with it for the moment. Mikey, however,
This has been a
still
brilliant
right
fight
there.
up front.
Yeah. teammates keeping close company. Mikey right up into the back of Al-Hazmi, but not trying to make any, kamikaze moves. Of course, this late in the race, a good team
Oh
finish is
no!
all you can hope for. As Boryoshi has picked himself up a penalty as well, and wow, we're only down to what? 7 drivers on the whole circuit at the moment that have not been assessed a penalty of some sort. Mikey DeYoung now looking to make the move up the inside of teammate Al-Hazmi, and he does. AJ with, not quite enough space to make the move on Al-Hazmi as well. And Matthew Stotts has made his way up past Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Bit of a fight there.
Oh, there was an accident at the back of the field.
Oh, it looks like it. Jake Scarborough. We'll try to see
Don't think
here.
we can have a safety car though.
It seems to be too late. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. And now it's just a race to be within 3 seconds, I suppose. Al-Hazmi, of course, well within that range. AJ as well, but Matthew Stotts maybe in a position to pick up one spot here and find himself on the podium.
He's locked in a heated battle with Boryoshi right now.
Oh, it looks like
and
it,
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer's all of a sudden found some life in those softs here. Well, it's like I said, here we go. Last lap. Wouldn't want to be the guy taking the white, and it's going to be Mikey DeYoung. Just a sitting duck. Oh, what a...
Oh,
that is... Oh, and AJ is just staring at all this happening in front of him. AJ's got to fall. Oh, he's been forced wide.
Boryoshi's also made the move around Matthew Stotts. Is AJ... Oh... Disaster here as he nearly spins, has to take it through the bollards, and he's back out onto track.
Oh, what the... What a ill-timed block by AJ there.
And it's Boryoshi now. Finds himself in P3 at the moment.
But he also has that penalty, Alex, so...
Oh, he does. Only for the moment, it shall seem. But of course, I mean... There's an appeals process and whatnot that comes after the end of the race that may see some of these penalties adjusted or erased entirely, and we've yet to see what will happen. Of course, though, those penalties looming large on the drivers and what may or may not happen here, because these gaps are not nearly as large as some of them may hope to be that are sitting on those penalties, Mikey DeYoung especially.
No one thought to see it today, folks.
Al-Hazmi, though, on such a smart race, he comes away with the win here at the Temple of Speed, Monza. Boryoshi falling down to P6 on penalties for the position, and Mikey DeYoung holding on for P2 even after the assessment of the penalty. And AJ Knickel with the final podium position, and teammate Matthew Stotts close behind from last to P4. What a drive for him today as well. But it's Al-Hazmi who manages to get the win here in Monza. And what a race it was. I mean, we were bound to see some incidents happen along the way, but just the calls that were made, I mean, there were so many gambles and so many good risks taken. The driving was just clean as ever. I mean, you can't ask for better driving from the top, 10 or so than what you saw today. And barring Clay Smith, who was having himself such a great weekend until he had some early trouble, it was just clean from start to finish, and that's all you can really ask for, right, Bill?
Oh, yeah. Matthew Stotts up 13 spots to P4, but Al-Hazmi up 6 spots to the top step of the podium. So... another great race. I can't wait to pick these guys' brains here. Especially AJ. We're going to wait for AJ and go with P3 to P1.
Driver of the day, of course, being given to Matthew Stotts after that heroic drive. And just shout out to him once more for it. Yeah. He earned it start to finish. But there you have it, folks. Al-Hazmi coming away with it here at the Temple of Speed. But it is a Williams 1-2.
Uh, just trying to get AJ's attention real quick. All right. Well, Alice, run down the finishing order while we wait for AJ, I suppose.
Sure. So Al-Hazmi once again coming away with it. Mikey de Jong, teammate, close behind, getting the P2 even after the penalty assessment and the extra point being taken by him for the fastest lap. AJ Knickel and Matthew Stotts P3 and P4 for that Aston team. Great finish. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer holding on that Hail Mary effort on those soft tires for P5. Boryoshi getting P6, dropping a few positions after his penalty assessment, with Jamie Knock taking P7 for the Alfa Romeo team. Gabe Cazola will take P8 with Matty Daly getting P9. I think he was also on penalty assessment, so Andrew Davis will get the final point scoring position, P10 for that Alpine, and Fidel Fabian P11 in the AlphaTauri. Biggest surprises, though, I must say, Clay Smith, the early crash for him. I was hoping for a good finish. He was looking good throughout qualifying and throughout the start of the race, but once again, getting the P15 finish, it looks like. And I think we're here with the podium finishers. Bill?
All right. AJ. Solid finish today, P3. You had quite the view of a Williams smorgasbord up there. A little bit of contact at the end almost cost you a podium, man. A little bit heated. I heard somebody in here was a little bit out of breath, so why don't you walk us through your POV of the race, man?
Well, I mean, the car was amazing. It felt really good, nice and planted. And with Mikey's penalty, I had a shot at the win and felt like I just kind of got shoved over the curb at the end. The race was pretty straightforward, so not a lot to walk through. But yeah, disappointed with the amount of space given by a car with a time penalty. I understand he is a teammate, but you gotta leave a little bit of space. It's not really acceptable in any situation.
I mean, we could see it. I mean, it was a bit the Williams corner. You tried to chuck it around the outside. It looked like, I mean, you knew the circumstance. You had to go for it. You knew you had to go for it if you wanted any chances of a win there. But it didn't look like the Williams were playing the team game there, AJ. It just looked like
I
it was
mean,
pretty
you can
fierce.
you can look at it however you want. It didn't really look like they were playing a hugely great team game, but at the end, you stick the car that doesn't have the time penalty in front, and you put the car that does have a time penalty in between, you and the competition. That's fine. I have no issue with that. What I do have an issue with is being dead level with somebody all the way into a corner and getting shoved out onto the edge of the track, and it always tends to be that way when you race with people side to side and it gets down to the nitty gritty. I wish there was a little bit more racing respect given, and it's always frustrating because it could have cost us a lot more than that. And with all the effort we put into like improving on a week to week basis, I just I really really hate when people can't even give you a car's width.
All right, well, you heard that here first, folks. Well, either way, AJ, good result, solid podium. You were there. You had the pace all day. You're pretty quick. You were fighting there. It was good to see the Astons up there again. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Mikey de Jong, anything you want to follow up with that? Seemed pretty early on you had the car to beat, and then towards the end there, just the penalty cost you, and then your teammate just caught up, and it was pretty much a melee from there. Plus the incident with AJ in the T1. Walk us through it.
Uh, well, uh, I mean, with the incident, I think that even I was on the inside. I was a little bit ahead. It was my corner, and I just took it. That's how I was intended to took it. He was the guy that was supposed to back out, but he didn't, and that made him go over the curbs and spin. But that's my own point, in my opinion, and we'll see what happens after. But before that, the race was really well. I was leading by a lot. I was fine until I realized that my teammate was like in the top three when the safety car came out, and then I kind of started stressing and started to drive away the first three laps as far as possible from AJ to maintain the lead, but that didn't work because Bomber was already past AJ, and he kind of closed up and took AJ with him, which made it very difficult for me at the end of the race. And the penalty was kind of yeah, it was my fault, but it is what it is. But P2 is still good though.
Yeah, all thing considering on the season, pretty much a cakewalk from here. You pretty much just have to maintain solid results for the rest of the year, and you could pretty much just walk. And Williams as a whole has just been absolutely astounding thus far this season. But I mean, overall, a great race. Still another Williams 1-2. You gotta be pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. Now has me. The dude started what P7, P6, and worked your way up methodically. Safety cars helped you out, got the chance, and you didn't really look back. I mean, it was a bit of a dogfight between you and your teammate there for the last couple laps, but on the last lap, you really, I guess you could say, put your seal of approval. That's back to back for you. How's it feel, man?
I mean, it obviously feels great because I didn't have a win in my scope at all this race. I started P8, got rear-ended into turn 1, lap 1, and I was basically dead last. But, I mean, safety cars just basically brought me back into the field, and people had incidents in front of me, which put me a little up ahead. And like Mikey said, I was at some point just in P3 out of nowhere, and it did feel like that. And I definitely felt confident after the safety car with my pace, and I just started pushing from there. Setup was great, tire wear was great, everything was great, and I just pushed as hard as I can.
Yeah, this win really, really, really helps you out with extending that gap from you and Boryoshi for P2 in the championship. So you got to be super stoked about that, man. Yeah, like me and Alex were talking about, we saw you drop down at the beginning of the race, but just out of nowhere, you were just right there with these guys. And I mean, did you guys have any team orders, or were the gloves completely off, bare knuckle it throughout this race to just go for the win? I mean, obviously, Mikey DeYoung had the penalty, but like, you guys didn't act like he was racing with it. You guys were fighting.
I mean, it was basically, I mean, I was just trying to make a gap to AJ, so just so I can like secure P1, P2 for Williams, but it didn't work out. And AJ was just able to stay within half a tenth and just got the DRS, and I couldn't pull away from him at that moment. But yeah, at that point, I was just trying to stay in front of AJ as much as I can, and if I have to overtake my teammate to ensure that, then I mean, it's racing.
That is racing. Well, congrats back to back, man, and races you thought you just didn't have it, but here you are, man.
Thanks.
Congrats. That's it for me, Alex. If you got
Well,
anything.
I mean, looks like that'll do it from here at the Temple of Speed. Once again, we want to thank you for tuning in, and make sure you catch some of the other ARC events happening this week. Of course, we've got the Euro Series happening tomorrow afternoon back here at Monza, and we have the Group 3 Championship on Gran Turismo 7 happening Sunday night. Make sure you tune in for that. And of course, plenty of series heating up over in the PC2 leagues. I believe that we're down to our last race of the season for the Porsche Super Cup, and two more races to go in the IndyCar series. So if you're trying to catch some good racing, make sure you tune in for that as well. All right, signing off from here.